Hello students, welcome to my lecture series on reinforced concrete structures. In this class, I am going to discuss about analysis of T-beams, that is part 3, which is a continuation of our previous classes, that is part 1 and part 2. So let us see what are the outcomes of today's lecture. On completion of this lecture, you will be able to calculate depth of the neutral axis when it lies in the web. The condition is our depth of a rectangular stress block parameter, that is 3 by 7 of XU, is less than depth of flange, that is DF. For the same condition, you need to calculate what is the moment of resistance when our neutral axis lies in the web. The same condition. What is that condition? 3 by 7 of XU is less than DF. Clear? So let us recall the things what we discussed in previous class, that is the analysis of T-beams part 2. That is we discussed calculate the depth of neutral axis lies in the web. The condition is when if a 3 by 7 of XU is greater than or equal to DF. And same for the same case we have to calculate what is the moment of resistance. So for this we have done so many steps, like step 1 we have to calculate by assuming the depth of neutral axis lies in the flange. We have calculated what is that depth of neutral axis. Then we have to compare this with our DF. So then we check if your XU is greater than DF, then we can say our neutral axis falls in the web portion, right? For this condition, so this condition I can say 3 by 7 of XU is greater than or equal to DF means if you draw the stress distribution diagram for this condition, your the neutral axis is here, right? And you know the stress will vary from neutral axis to the 0.02 strain. It will parabolic. After that, it will be what? A rectangle, right? Now, in this case, 3 by 7 of XU is greater than DF. What do you mean by that? So, this is your rectangle portion of a stress block. This is equal to this 3 by 7 of XU value. And this is, this is the DF. What is depth of the flange? Right? If this 3 by 7 of XU is greater than this DF, then I can say your DF means your flange is, see, uniformly distributed. How it is distributed? Uniformly distributed. So if you observe this figure, your DF is less than your 3 by 7 of XU, or I can say it is uniformly distributed. For this case, we have calculated the moment of resistance. How we calculate the moment of resistance? For calculating the moment of resistance, we should know what is the moment of resistance with respect to compression zone, as this neutral axis divides this T section into compression zone and a tension zone. And what is the total compression force in this compression zone, and what is the total force in the tension zone. And here, to calculate the total compression force and total tensile force in this T-beam, I have divided this a complete T-beam into two different figures. One is it is a web portion. By considering only web portion, I have calculated what is the total compressive force CW is. Then by considering only flange portions, this is flange and this is flange, then I have calculated what is that total compressive force in a flange area. After that, if I add these two, total compressive force in web region and total compressive force in flange region, the total will give me the total compressive force which is acting in the compression zone. So similarly, I can calculate what is the total tensile force in tension zone in web region and the total tensile force in the flange region. Then the total tensile force which is acting in the total T-beam is, so TW plus TF will give me the total tensile force. Once you know the total tensile force, then you can calculate the moment of resistance, right? So moment of resistance is what? A force multiplied by perpendicular distance. That perpendicular distance will be the lever arm. What is the lever arm? So here the lever arm is this. The distance, perpendicular distance between total compressive force and the total tensile force, that is Z. So if you multiply, if you want to calculate moment of resistance with respect to the compression, then this total compressive force should be multiplied with Z. What is the Z here? Lever arm. And similarly, you want to calculate the total moment of resistance with respect to the tensile force, then this total tensile force multiplied by same lever arm in this Z. Right? Like that we can calculate moment of resistances by dividing two separate figures. So figure 1 with respect to the web and figure 2 with respect to the flange. Right? Like that we have calculated what is the moment of resistance with respect to case number 2 of A. What is the case number 2? That is the neutral axis falls in the web region. What is the subcase A? That is your depth of the rectangular portion, the 3 by 7 of XU is greater than or equal to DF. For this case we are discussing. In today's class, we will discuss about what? When your depth of neutral axis lies in the web. In this situation, our depth of the flange is greater than the depth of the rectangular portion of a stress block. For this case, we will discuss today. So let us start today's class. It is a case number 2. We are in case number 2. What is the case number 2? A neutral axis is within the web. So it has to satisfy this condition. When your neutral axis is said to be in web, our XU must be greater than DF. So what is that XU and what is the DF? We know that. Say this is a this portion is DF, right? And here if this is a XU. What is this? This is XU. If you see the this figure, our XU falls in the web region and this is a DF. If you compare these two, our XU is what? Greater than this DF value. So I can say that our neutral axis is falls in the web region. In this we have two cases are arises. We have discussed in detail about the first case when our flange of the beam is fully stressed. When the situation occurs when your 3 by 7 of X is greater than or equal to DF. Now we will discuss in detail about in this class about the case number 2. What is the case number 2? When the flange of the beam is what? Not fully or non-uniformly distributed or stressed, not uniformly stressed. When this condition occurs, when your 3 by 7 of XU is less than DF. What do you mean by 3 by 7 of XU? It's the depth of a rectangular portion in your stress block, and DF is the depth of a flange, and this is approximately equal to when the situation occurs when DF, depth of the flange, and overall depth, the effective depth ratio is greater than 2, then we will get this condition. So let us start that what is this, when, how it is uniformly distributed. Now we will discuss with respect to this figure by drawing a stress distribution in this region. Say this is a T beam, right, and your neutral axis is falls in this, okay, in web region. So this is neutral axis. Now according to the codal assumptions what we made when we are designing the flexure members with respect to limit state of collapse in flexure condition, we know that our stress will be varies up to 0.02 strain, it will be a parabolic, it will be here. After that it will be a rectangle. Up to from where to where it is rectangle, it will varies rectangularly from the strain 0.02 to from the strain of maximum strain compressive strain of 0.035. This we have discussed in your when we are discussing about analysis of a beams, rectangular beams there. So this is the maximum strain and this is the corresponding to the 0.02% 2 strain. If you observe this figure, so this is your depth of flange DF and this is your rectangular portion, depth of rectangular portion of your stress block, that equal to a 3 by 7 of XU. What is that? 3 by 7 of XU. If you observe here, your DF is greater than 3 by 7 of XU. So from this I can say that is case number B. Then if you draw the stress distribution diagram for this, see up to this portion, say up to this portion, sorry, up to this portion of a flange is fully stressed, that is falls in the rectangle region, and remaining this portion is falls in the parabolic region. So if you see the surface of this parabolic, it is not a constant like this semi rectangle, but it is a curve like this, so the stress will not be distributed here uniformly. That's why I can call it as a uniformly distributed, non-uniformly stressed or not fully stressed, I can say. So up to this rectangle portion it is fully stressed, but this portion what we have of the DF, that will falls in your, what is that, a parabolic region of a stress distribution diagram. There in parabolic we will not get the stress along each point same. That's why I can call it as a non-uniform distribution or partially distributed. So with this concept, let us go analysis of this case. So that is a case number 2, that is B, when flange of the beam is not fully, what is it, not fully stressed or non-uniformly stressed. When this case occurs is when 3 by 7 of x is less than df and approximately that equal to df by d equal to greater than 2. So this analysis is similar to your analysis what we discussed in case number 2a. That is, this is a T-beam. See, this is a T-beam and this is the total stress distribution diagram for this. Okay, if you see here, our depth of flange is falls in your parabolic region of the stress distribution diagram. Actually, the rectangular portion is up to here only. Up to here. This is a rectangle portion. Right, some sort of portion, this portion of, say this portion of your flange is in your parabolic region, right? So for this case we need to calculate what is the depth of or effective depth of a flange. I can say this is a modified depth. For the calculation of modified depth of a flange, there is an equation given by code, that is IS 456-2000, that we'll discuss later. See, if you observe here, so this is the depth of parabolic portion 3 by 7 of XU, right? And this is the overall depth of a flange DF. So your DF is now greater than 3 by 7 of XU. So this is the condition that is comes under case number 2 and B sub case. So this is for this T-beam, this case of T-beam, we have to calculate what is the moment of resistance. The moment of resistance can be calculated with the same what we discussed in previous case sessions. First we have to divide this figure into two figures, figure 1 and figure 2. In figure 2 we have to consider this web portion only. For this we have to calculate what is the total moment of resistance in web region, and then we need to consider this flange region. These two parts we have either side of the beam. So these two flanges, flange parts we have to consider, and among these we have to calculate what is the moment of resistance in this flange region. Then if we add together the moment of resistance in flange region and the moment of resistance in web region, we will get total moment of resistance in this T-beam. Let us start our discussion by dividing the figure into two sub-figures. Let us say this is my first figure. I will consider, I am neglecting these flange portions now. Say I will neglect this flange portion what we have. Only I am considering area which is above the neutral axis, that is under compression. You know, above the neutral axis we have compression, below the neutral axis we have tension. So if you draw the stress distribution diagram for this particular figure, the strain will be what is it? Sorry, a parabolic distribution up to the strain of 0.02, and after that 0.02 to 0.005 it will be a rectangle. So it is we are discussing in figure 1 about a rectangle part of your T-beam, that is a web. So you know already we have discussed about this. The total compressive force which we have in your web portion is 0.36 FCK BW into XU, and total tensile force here is 0.87 AF by ST into the area of steel provided in web. And we know that lever arm is the distance between the compressive force in web to the tensile force in web, that is a Z is equal to D minus 0.42 XU. Right? From these conditions, you can calculate what is the moment of resistance in this particular figure. Now, similarly, calculate the moment of resistance by omitting the flange, by neglecting the web region and by considering the flange portion. So, this is the flange now, and this is the flange portions. These two portions I am considering for calculating moment of resistance here. Right? If you see, your flange is not fully stressed. Some part of the flange is falls in the parabolic region. So there is a modified with the depth of the flange is given by IS 456-2000, that is YF is equal to 0.15 XU into 0.65 DF. From this formula we can calculate what is the YF is. Now take with respect to this, calculate the CF. CF is total compressive force in the flange region, that is 0.45 FCK, and we you know that what is the stress is. Stress nothing but a force by area, and a force nothing but stress multiplied by area. With the same concept we'll discuss now. So we have to calculate compressive force in this flange region. The stress at maximum, the stress at this topmost fiber is 0.45 FCK, and see, it is uniform up to this and it is not uniform up to this. So for this we have a equivalent depth. So we are making it uniform here by multiplying some modification, that is YF. So 0.45 FCK, and this will give me the area of that modified rectangular section of a stress block. It is BF minus BW into YF. And you can calculate what is the TF is. TF is total tensile force in flange region, that is 0.87 Fy AST into F, and lever arm is D minus YF by 2. Right? With respect to this we can calculate. The difference between the previous case and this case is only we have to replace DF with YF now. That's it. Right? Let us calculate what the total compressive force is there in your total T section. So total compressive force is equal to total compressive force in web portion and the total compressive force in flange portion. You know the total compressive force in web portion is 0.36 FCK BW into XU, and total for compressive force in a flange region is 0.45 FCK BF minus BW whole by YF. Now if you want to know what is the moment of resistance in this web region, that total compressive force must be multiplied by the total compressive force in web must be multiplied by lever arm. So that is compressive force is 0.36 FCK BF into XU, and lever arm is D minus 0.42 XU. And similarly you can calculate what is the total moment of resistance in flange region. The total that can be calculated by multiplying total compressive force in flange by lever arm, and this is your total compressive force in flange region 0.45 FCK into BF minus BW into YF, and this is the lever arm, that is D minus YF by 2. The moment of resistance of total compression in this T beam is MRC, that is moment of resistance in compression equal to moment of resistance in web of compression region and moment of resistance of flange in compression region. Then if we add these two equations, we will get total moment of resistance in the T beam with respect to the compression, that is 0.36 FCK BW XU into D minus 0.42 XU plus 0.45 FCK into BF minus BW whole multiplied by YF. It is a modified depth. The value of this will be given by IS 456-2000, and D minus DF, it is not a DF, say it is YF, just correct it. It is a YF by 2. Clear? Right, okay. Next, calculate tensile force, total tensile force in T beam, that is a sum of tensile force in web and sum of the tensile force in flange, and if we add together we will get the total tensile force is 0.87 Fy ASTW plus 0.87 Fy ASTF. If you multiplied, if you want to know the what is the moment of resistance in tension zone of web, that is TW into LA is a lever arm, that will be equation this. So for a moment of resistance flange region, the moment of resistance equation will be like this. Now if we add together, we will get the moment of resistance with respect to tension, right, like this, that is 0.87 Fy ASTW into D minus 0.42 XU plus 0.87 Fy ASTF into D minus YF by 2. Like that we can calculate. So already discussed you that mostly we will not this equation for calculating the moment of resistance, because we cannot divide our total reinforcement area of reinforcement to two reinforcement, that AST W and AST F. We don't know how much AST W is, AST F is, but we know what is the total sum of these two we know, but independently we cannot calculate. That's why we cannot use this equation for calculation of moment of resistance of a T-beam. Just simply depend upon that moment of resistance with respect to compression due. So let us see some steps for calculating moment of resistance with respect to this case. That is case number 2b, when your flange is not fully stressed or partially stressed. Anyhow, the first step is calculation of depth of neutral axis. This depth of neutral axis will be calculated by assuming neutral axis lies in the flange region. First, any problem, whatever the case, after analysis for the analysis of this T-beams, you should consider your neutral axis is falls in first, where it is a flange region, and calculate what is the depth of neutral axis, right? This depth of neutral axis you need to calculate. After comparing with the actual depth of flange, then we know whether it is falls in what web or flange. So this can be calculated by equating total compressive force to the total tensile force. So this is the total compressive force is 0.36 FCK BF into XU is equal to 0.87 FI into AST, and finally we will get this equation for calculating XU 0.87 FI AST by 0.36 FCK into BF. So according to this problem formula, you can calculate what is the depth of neutral axis. After obtaining depth of neutral axis by this formula, then we have to check whether our depth of neutral axis falls in flange or web. How can we decide that? That will be when it will be compared with DF value. You know the DF is depth of flange. If your XU is less than DF, then our assumption is correct. That is, our neutral axis will falls in the flange region, right? And for calculating moment of resistance, according to step number 3, we can calculate the moment of resistance, right? The second, if your XU is greater than DF, then your neutral axis lies in the web, and in that we have two more steps. That is, if df by d is less than 0.2, then we can go for calculation of moment of resistance with respect to step number 6. And another case we have if it is 0.2, that df by d is 0.2, we can calculate with respect to step number 7. What we can calculate? We can calculate the moment of resistance of this case. When df by d is greater than 0.2, moment of resistance will be calculated with respect to step number 7. So in step number 2 here, we have to calculate what is the maximum depth of neutral axis, and then we have to compare with our XU to decide what type of section it is. So if XU is greater than or equal to XU max, and that is the balanced section, and XU equal to greater than less than or equal to XU max, under reinforced section, and XU is greater than XU max, that is over reinforced section. So this is applicable to this XU value is for when we considering our neutral axis falls in flange. This condition of XU is applicable to only case 1. So if you want to know whether your neutral axis whether your section is under reinforced section, balanced section, or over reinforced section, so we need to calculate the depth of actual depth of neutral axis corresponding to this case, the case number 2. With respect to that, after calculating that, again we have to compare those values with our XU max. Then we have to decide what type of section it is. So this is the step number 3. From the according to the case number 1. Case number 1, what? Your XU is less than DF. Then we can calculate moment of resistance with respect to this formula, that is 0.36 FCK BF XU into D minus 0.42 XU. So if not, this case is not satisfied, after calculating that, we got our DF by D ratio is 0.2. That means what? Your 3 by 7 of XU is greater than or equal to DF. Your rectangular portion of a stress block is greater than your depth of flange. In this case, we can calculate the depth of neutral axis like this. What is the depth of neutral axis? 0.36 FCK BW into XU plus 0.45 FCK BF minus BW into DF equal to 0.87 FI AST. So this is a total tensile force, and this is total compression force. If we equate that, we can calculate what is the XU is. For calculating the moment of resistance, now we go for step number 5. Right? Now again we have to decide with respect to this XU value, the XU value which is obtained from this formula, we can check with our XU max or we can compare with the XU max. Then we have to decide whether it is a which type of reinforcing section, it is a under reinforced or over reinforced or balanced section. Right? So then for calculating moment of resistance, so we'll use this moment of resistance formula. If your section is under reinforced section, then that is the case XU is less than XU max, then we can use this formula for calculating moment of resistance, that is ME equal to 0.36 FCK BW XU into D minus 0.42 XU plus 0.45 FCK into DF minus BW into DF into D minus 0.5 DF. Right? If it is the over reinforced section, as per IS 456 2000, it a limit state method, there is no such condition for design of over reinforced section. Though we get the over reinforced section, we can design it as a balanced section. That is, if you get XU greater than XU max, in place of XU, we have to substitute XU max value. Then this formula will be modified like this: 0.36 FCK BW XU max D minus 0.42 XU max plus 0.45 XU FCK into BF minus BW into DF into D minus 0.5 into DF. By using this formula, we can calculate maximum moment of resistance for a T beam. Right? We have another case, that is case number 2. If your conditions satisfy this one, your 3/7 of X is less than DF, that is depth of rectangular portion of a stress block is less than the depth of the flange, then we get DF by D ratio is 0.2. Then we have to calculate the depth of neutral axis by using this formula. What is this? 0.36 FCK BW into XU plus 0.45 FCK into BF minus BW into YF. You know YF is, it is a modified flange depth. This is for this there is no derivation, but directly we have a formula given by IS 456 2000. That equation is 0.15 XU plus 0.65 DF, which is always less than DF. It is very important for your competitive exam purpose. The modified depth of flange is always greater than the actual depth of flange, or less than actual depth of flange, or equal to that, or none. So your YF is always less than the DF. So from this we have to calculate, after substituting this YF values in this equation, we can calculate XU values. Again, this obtained XU value will be compared with the XU max. If what is the relation that will be exist between the XU and XU max, based on that we can decide what type of section it is. Right? And for calculating the moment of resistance, we go for step number 7. Then we can calculate moment of resistance like this. Right? So if it is under reinforced section, then ME equal to 0.36 FCK BW XU into D minus 0.42 XU plus 0.45 FCK BF minus BW into YF. YF is what? Modified depth of a flange, and this multiplied by D minus 0.5 YF. If it is a over reinforced section, you know that in place of XU we have to substitute XU max, and formula will be like this for calculating maximum moment of resistance when it is a over reinforced section. So this is the formula for that. Simple, in place of XU in this equation substitute XU max, will get this equation. Okay, so this is all for concept of today's lecture. Then we'll solve one problem on this concept. So what is that? Calculate the moment of resistance of a T-beam with the following data. He has given width of the flange is 800 mm, thickness of flange is 90 mm, width of the rib, means the width of the, that is web, is 230 mm, effective depth is 400 mm, area of steel provided is 520 mm diameter bars, 520 mm diameter bars, and M20 grade of concrete given. So for this is M20. For the M20 we have characteristic compressive strength is 20 Newton for mm square, and this is the steel Fe415 grade steel given. Right, for this we have yield strength of that steel is 415 Newton for mm square. So based on this, please write down your given data. So given data will be like this. So for this I will indicate these values on the T-beam, then will be which part where you can easily identify. So this is a BF. So this part is called effective flange width. BF is equal to what? 800 mm. And this is a DEF, is a flange, depth of flange. This value will be considered as a depth of flange, that is DEF. How much it is given? It is given is just 90 mm, right? And width of the web, how much is given? I think this is 230, but wrongly written here. Okay, 230. Please make it correct. 230 mm. And this is the width of the web, that is BW. What is that? BW. This is equal to how much? This is 230 mm. And also given that area of steel here, how many bars? 5 bars of 20 mm. So this will give me the AST. What is that? AST provided. The value of this is 1570.8. And also given what is the effective depth of this T-beam. You know the effective depth is topmost fiber of a flange to the centroid of this steel rod, steel bars. So that is small d is equal to 400 mm. So these are the dimensions are given. So if you see in this problem, they have given material properties and sectional properties, clear, and ask us to calculate what is the moment of resistance. Now can you decide what type of analysis problem is this? That is type 1. What is the type 1 says when we are discussing our previous classes? Type 1 is when the material properties are given, sectional properties are given, and you need to calculate moment of resistance. That is the analysis of a T-beam with respect to type 1 problem. Type 2 also there, when the type with material properties and sectional properties, span of the beam given, and ask us to calculate what is the area of steel provided, what is the maximum load it can bear, and the maximum moment of resistance. That is comes under, it is an analysis problem, but it is a type 2, right? Those problems we will discuss in next class, but in this class we will discuss only type 1 problem. So with respect to this data, so you need to calculate what is the moment of resistance is, clear? So first, you know, the first step is calculation of depth of neutral axis. How to calculate this depth of neutral axis? This depth of neutral axis calculated with respect to by assuming your XU is within the flange. So like this, we are assuming first our XU depth of neutral axis is falls in this flange region, and we have to calculate. So for that, equate total compressive force equal to total tensile force. Then we will get this formula, that is XU equal to 0.87 Fy AST by 0.36 Fc B. In the problem, Fy given is 415, AST we have calculated is 1570.8, and FCK is 20, and BF is 800. For that we get XU equal to 98.46 mm. Right, now we have to check whether our assumption is right or wrong. Go for compare our XU value with DF. Now XU is 98.46, DF is just 90. So our XU is greater than DF. So what we assumed, our XU is less than DF. Then it will fall in the flange. But actual case, our XU is greater than DF. So our assumption is absolutely wrong. So with respect to this condition, our neutral axis falls in the web region. So where it is falls? Neutral axis falls in the web region here. Right, for this case. And one more thing, we have to decide whether with respect to case 2 of A or 2 of B, that we have to discuss. And for that we have to check one more condition, that is DF by D ratio. If the DF by D ratio is less than 0.2, it is with respect to case number 2A. If it is greater than that, with respect to case number 2B. So DF by D is 90 by 400, DF is 90 and small d is 400. That will give 0.0025. So this value is greater than 0.2. So with respect to case number 2B, we have to analyze that. So what case number 2B says, the compressive stress is not uniformly across the depth of the flange. So for this, what we have for moment of resistance, we don't have the direct, we cannot consider now DF value as a depth of flange for calculating moment of resistance because it is not a fully stressed. For that, a code has given one modified depth of flange YF in place of DF. That is what is the formula? 0.15 XU plus 0.65 DF. Clear? And you know what is the DF is? We don't know what is the XU is. Right? We have to calculate XU with respect to now this case number 2B, not with the case number 1. So now this XU we have to calculate now. That will calculate for the next steps. And with respect to this, we get 0.XU. To keep it is same. We don't know XU value is. So 0.65 into 90 will get 58.5. Finally, the YF value would be 0.15 XU plus 58.5. Right? Then calculate depth of neutral axis for this case. What is this case? As our DF is greater than depth of the depth of rectangular section of a stress block, and is given dF by d is greater than 2. So depth of neutral axis can be calculating by using this formula. What is this formula? It is a compressive force, total compressive force, and this is a total tensile force. By equating that, we can calculate, that is 0.36 FCK BW XU plus 0.45 FCK BF minus BW whole multiplied by, it is YF. YF is the modified depth of a flange that is given by code, is equal to 0.87 FI AST. Now substitute those values. Now your FCK is 20, BW is 230. We have to calculate XU. FCK is 20, BF is 800, BW is 230, and YF is we get is direct in terms of XU, that is 0.15 XU plus 58.5, and this is the AST of 0.87 FY, and this is the AST value. So after simplifying this equation, we'll get what is the XU value is. What is the XU value here? XU equal to 110.1 mm. So after knowing the XU, now compare this XU with XU max. So you know how to calculate XU max. XU max can be calculated by using the formula 0.48D. This is corresponding to the grade of steel Fe415. This will be given in IS 456 2000. So if you calculate with respect to this formula, the substituted D value 0.48 into 400 is a D value. Then we will get XU max is 216 mm. Now your XU is somewhere 110. So XU is what, where? Your 110.1, and your XU max is this. Now what is the relation exist? 110 is less than this 16 mm. So we can say our section is under reinforced section. For the under reinforced section, the how to calculate moment of resistance? See, this figure shows all the dimensions. So this is BF. Now we have calculated all the parameter of this BF, and this is a DF 90 mm, and this is web width, that is BW, right? And this is AST, we have calculated for 520 mm bars, that is 1570.9 mm square, and this is a XU. This is the depth of neutral axis. Now what we calculated with respect to case number 2B, that is XU equal to 110.1 mm, and this is overall depth they are given in the problem. So this is a complete sectional dimensions or sectional properties of a given T-beam. By using these sectional properties, we have to calculate now what is the moment of resistance is. So the section is decided as under reinforced section. Then we have to calculate MU. And now we have calculated XU. For that you can calculate what is the modified depth of flanges. So XU is 110.1. So 0.15 into 110.1 plus 58.5 will give the 75 mm. So this value is, YF value is always less than DF. That is given in code, right? Now compare that. Your YF value is what, how much? 75, and DF is how much? DF is given that 90 mm. So your 75 is less than 90 mm. So we are safe. Now substitute the values here in moment resisting formula. That is 0.36, FCK is 20, BW is 230, XU is now we just now we calculated. So substitute here XU is 110.1. I forgot to write here, and D is 800, and this is 0.42. XU is 110.1, and 0.45 FCK is 20. BF is 800. Sorry, it is not 800. Say it is D is 400. Please make it correct. Okay. And YF we got, what we got is here, BF is 230,
and YF is 75, there is a modified depth of flange, and D is 400, 0.5 into YF is 75. After calculating this, we'll get what is the moment of resistance. Mu is equal to 203.97 kilonewton per meter. Right. So let us summarize today's class. What we discussed today. So first, we are in the case number 2. What is the case number 2? When depth of neutral axis is falls in the web region. In that we have two cases. That is, first case 2A is when your depth of flange is fully stressed. That case will occur when the depth of rectangular portion of a stress block is greater than depth of the flange. And that class that is already we had done with the last class. Then in today's class we have discussed about case number 2B, that is when your flange is not fully stressed, like I can say the non-uniformly stressed. That means your depth of flange is depth of flange DF is greater than the rectangle portion of a stress block, that is 3 by 7 of XU. Right. If you observe the stress distribution here, the only the some part of your rectangular depth of flange will fully stressed, and remaining portion of the flange will falls in the parabolic portion of a stress. So in parabolic, the stress distribution will not be uniform, so that we cannot directly consider for calculating the moment of resistance DF value. So for that we have some modification. That modification depth of the flange will given by IS 456 2000. That YF is equal to 0.15. What is that formula we have here? 15XU plus what is that? 0.65 into DF. So from that we can calculate what is the YF is. After knowing the YF, and we can calculate the moment of resistance. Before that we have to decide what type of section, if it is under reinforced section or over reinforced section, at balanced section. Based on that we can make use of our moment of resistance formula. Okay, so that's all for today's lecture. See you in next class. Thank you.